Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1980s.
Let's get one thing straight. A successful semester to me means making out with as many cute boys as possible. Let's put it this way, anything in pants.
Oh, me too.
This is episode 265, recorded August 7th, 2024.
Gruesome Magazine.
Here we go again, folks.
Yep. Good times.
I am your host, Jeff Mohr, and this podcast is about horror films released between 1980 and 1989. Each episode, my co-hosts Bill Mulligan, Crystal Cleveland, and Chad Hunt, and I will tackle another classic or not so classic film from this radical, gory, influential, and gruesome decade. Joining me, the crew tonight is Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead Girl and co-host of the Gruesome Magazine podcast and her own YouTube channel. They got me. How you doing?
Yep. I'm fabulous. I'm doing great. Jeff's birthday was yesterday, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. So
Happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah.
Big 4-0.
I'm older than dirt.
What does that make me?
Not quite. I don't know, but I'm older than you, dude.
Jeff's so old as the picture on his driver's license is a rock.
Yeah. Well, pictures.
Just those security number is 1.
Pictures. Okay, that's fine.
It's a drawing.
Big drawing.
When Moses parted the Red Sea, Jeff was on the other side fishing.
I know. It really pissed me off. Also joining us is Chad Hunt, comic book artist, co-host of Decades of Horror, this, that, the other one. How you doing, Chad?
I am ornery, cranky, and I don't know, whatever else comes with that, I guess.
Kind of like a Waylon Jennings song, right?
Yeah.
Ornery and mean.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Only
here
not
we
as
go.
talented.
I believe this is your pick, so
Aren't you going to introduce me?
I am. I'm not there yet. And last but not least, this Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, co-host of Decades of Horror, the 1970s.
Yeah.
Bill, how you doing?
I thought maybe you forgot being as old as you are.
Well, it happens. It does happen. I am having more problems with names.
He knew Captain Crunch when he was just a private.
Yeah. Well, Tony Tiger when he was just a cub.
Yeah.
Actually, that sounds delicious.
He knew the Dead Sea when it was just sick.
What? I don't get it. When it was just sick?
He knew the Dead Sea when it was just sick.
All right.
Hadn't died yet.
Oh, I get it. Okay, sorry. That was embarrassing. I was like, it was sick, not dead. Okay, sorry.
Glad you all are here.
Edit video here.
Yeah.
Glad you all are here. Otherwise, I'd be talking to imaginary people, and then people would really wonder.
Another sign of age,
Yeah. So
you might be.
Decades of Horror and Gruesome Magazine are partnering with Play Now Media on several of their channels, and in fact, Decades of Horror, the 1980s, is on the Wicked Horror TV channel. It's a streaming channel that you can subscribe to without paying anything and get access to a big chunk of their movies with ads, or you can pay a monthly fee and get rid of the ads and enjoy the premium content. And they got a lot of nice movies there. So check them out. And if you go to playnowmedia.com, they just have, it's unbelievable the subgenre movies they have. If there's something you're interested in, I'm pretty sure you'll find a channel that specializes in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what are we doing here? On this podcast, we start by giving some basic details of the film we're covering, follow that up with our first impressions, some taglines, a poster or so, and get in a general discussion about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully relating to the movie. All right.
Well, partially.
To a point. And spoiler alert, this movie came out over 35 years ago. So if you haven't seen it, you should go check it out because we'll pretend like you've already seen it. Our topic is Enigma from 1987.
Enema.
Oh, I meant Enigma.
Oh, wow.
That's
Maybe
actually
I
really
meant
cool.
Enigma. I don't know.
I know you did that on purpose, but that's awesome.
Directed by Lucio Fulci, written by Lucio Fulci and Giorgio Mariuzzo. The cast includes Laura Lamberti, Jared Martin, Yuli Reinthaler, Milihana Zirajovic, maybe Milijana, I don't know. Sophie de Allen, Jennifer Naud, Dusika Jagaric.
All
Production
from
company.
Boston.
Well, most of the, so anyway, we'll find out. Production company AM Trading International and Sujeska Film. Countries of origin, Italy and Yugoslavia. Filming locations are Italy, Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Belgrade, Serbia, and not in Boston. I put a question mark there, but
yeah.
Troy Howard says there's some sources that say Boston, but no. There's no scenes in Boston. Filming dates, November 3rd, 1986 to January 9th, 1987. Release date in France, December 30th, 1987. In Italy, not until September 1st, 1988. And a limited release in the U.S., October 21st, 1988. So even though the IMDb lists it as a 1987 movie, it really would probably be more proper, let's say 1988, but there you go. The synopsis is: the spirit of a comatose teenage girl possesses the body of a newcomer to her girls' boarding school to enact bloody revenge against the elitist coeds responsible for her condition. Now, I did edit that a little bit. I don't know why I did, because now I'm going to say it anyway. The actual description said against the elitist lingerie-clad coeds responsible for her condition. It literally did say that. I'm like, well, there was that one
They
scene,
were.
but otherwise,
Really, yeah. I'm like,
and the
paints a picture.
woman here is Carrie's mother, or I mean,
Yeah.
well, that's yeah.
what's her name's mother?
Patrick's mom.
Kathy. Yeah, that too. Mary, and that is, good luck with the names again, Dusika Zagorek. So I'm assuming this is part of the Yugoslavian side of the production. But anyway, she's got the red eyes when she wants them. So let's do first impressions, and this is
Bill's pick.
the Chad's pick.
Yeah. Nice try.
He gets to go first. You know, hey, it's Fulci. What can we say?
Yeah, it is Fulci, and I've never seen this one. To tell you the truth, and even though it has a very, very cool poster that we'll probably take a look at later, but I didn't find it up to Fulci standards, I guess you'd say. It was convoluted, a lot of it, about what was going on until halfway through. It had some good kills in it, some interesting kills. The characters were all a-holes, and and it did seem to want to rip off Carrie a little bit in there too. So it was okay. I'll say it was okay, but there are better Fulci films out there, and but all in all, I was entertained by it. I think one of the biggest problems is I would rather read the subtitles and have it in Italian or whatever the language was originally in this. I'd rather do that than these horrible dubbed films like this, because you're missing out on some things in order for them to fit everything in there when they dub, and it was just, again, it was just horrible dubbing. And that song at the beginning and end made me want to throw my phone through my TV. Hated that. Just inappropriate theme song. But overall, I was entertained by it, and it was an okay Fulci film.
Okay, it was an okay Fulci film. So, thanks, Chad. Like Crystal, had you seen this before? And what are your impressions?
I feel pretty close to what Chad was saying. This is not his best. Actually, oddly enough, I think that the story is more cohesive than some of Fulci's other films, but I still find those films better for some reason, which is odd, I think. Maybe it's better when it's a little convoluted and you don't quite understand it all. I mean, yeah, it obviously it's reminiscent of Carrie, but so is Phenomena. So, and more so, I think, even than this one. But the effects, for some reason, usually I don't laugh at them, but for some reason in this film, I was dying. Okay, the green at the end killed me. I don't know why. I mean, we've seen it from him before. I don't know. I feel the same as Chad. I don't know why before I was like, okay. And then in this one, I'm like, woof. You know, I did, I didn't mind the acting. I don't love the dubbing, but sometimes the dubbing makes it weird and quirky. It kind of got, I don't know why this film feels differently. I did love the end though. I will say I really liked the end and the way that it turned out. And that was a little confusing to me because, I mean, I guess we'll get into it, but the mom doing that was kind of odd to me that she decided to do that, but I guess good timing. But I mean, all of the story is a little ridiculous though. I mean, all these kids or college kids doing this to this one girl. I mean, it's very weird, kind of odd. He kind of has that take in a lot of his films. So I didn't dislike it. It was okay. I mean, it is Fulci. You could tell. I mean, it has a certain feel to it, but I mean, I do think that this was on the decline, so, and it shows. I wish that I could pinpoint though, what makes the others work and this one not. Maybe it's that this one is actually more polished and the story is more polished. Maybe that actually worked against him. I'm not sure, but
yeah, that's a good point. And I was thinking some of those things. Bill, how about you?
I think Crystal has just crystallized what I was trying to put together. I think you're on the money there. It's a contradiction. I've said this before. My favorite movie is Suspiria. It makes no sense. I usually love good narrative storytelling, and it has none of that. And that's true of the Fulcis that I love too. They're dreamlike, they're nightmarish. They don't make any sense, and I'm not looking for them to make sense.
Yep.
This one has a plot, but it's kind of dumb. And
that's
it's
fair.
got some randomness in there that I should enjoy. I mean, Death by Snails.
Oh yeah.
What? And yet it's
that was a good one though.
Because they're trying to put this weirdness into a plot-driven narrative. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Again, like Chad said, I was entertained. I kept on watching. I was not fast forwarding or anything, but it just felt like a low budget version of Phenomena, which is another film that all the things I just said about Enigma, I could say about Phenomena, but Phenomena works. I don't know that extra polish when you polish it, and then Dario Argento goes back and polishes it some more and throws in some crazy colors and moving cameras, and suddenly it's genius. Making a film is tough. If it was easy, all these guys and women who make movies would do nothing but hits. And yet if you look at Fulci, Argento, even Bava, there's some misses that are in there. It's like, this is the same person. They, they didn't have a stroke. Why did this one fail so badly when they seem to have had the formula in their hands? What went wrong? And sometimes nothing goes wrong. It's just you bake the souffle and it doesn't rise for whatever reason. And this one just seems like all the ingredients were there, but it didn't rise. It's still worth watching.
Yeah. Well, and I think, because it is somebody mentioned on the decline, he was, his health was starting to go down right at this point.
Yeah.
So it's, do you really have the energy and the persistence to work through problems and be very particular about things? I don't know. You're right. I think the story is more coherent than most of his stuff. But even then it still doesn't make a lot of sense. Some of the actions. I mean, I can tell what they're doing, but I'm with you. I was like, Crystal, that holy cow, it's like every kid in this school
I know
was a total jerk.
Yeah.
And making fun of this one girl and playing and pranking her. And I think, doesn't somebody ask him, what was your goal? What was going to happen next? It's kind of like, anyway. But there are some cool scenes. The snails were cool. The girl in the bed I thought was suitably creepy. I think maybe I think there might be a problem with the cinematography too, is it just doesn't, there's some places where it's too bright. And in Fulci we're used to getting, like you said, that dreamlike dark. And no, I don't know. Was there even a smoke machine in this one, Crystal?
I did not notice any good smoke. That's a problem.
So
because
anyway,
it's that's a great call.
Yeah, and not only are all the kids so bad, one of them who's pulling the prank off is a teacher. He's working with them. And
you bring this up. I don't like school-based movies or TV shows for just that reason, because I work at a school and it's so unrealistic. All the kids are bullying monsters and half of the teachers are dating their students. That does go on, but it is not, there's no campus I've ever seen where that's the entire culture, where that defines every single thing. That these are aberrations, not normal.
Teachers, doctors, whatever other professional wanders on the campus.
I feel like he put I feel like in a way he put his own like desires into this, like how she just wakes up kissing the doctor and stuff. It's like, really?
Well, I think it might actually be his disdain for people of the upper crust, kind of.
Maybe that's what it is, but
that he made them all just be evil.
That makes sense.
I don't know. Well,
Fulci was not a happy man. Sorry to say.
Well, and in fact, where did I hear this story from? That he was actually, and sometimes it's reported that he was a doctor, but he was a medical student at one time. And,
that's interesting.
He was dating somebody who dumped him for somebody who was wealthier and had a prestigious position and stuff. And so he thought, I'll show you. I'm going to go into the movie industry. And then after he'd made a few movies and he saw her again, it was like, well, I guess that showed her, But anyway, but you could kind of see where, some of his interest in the body horror may come about from the same thing that got him to go to school. But anyway, there's the poster, and that is.
Yeah,
that is a poster. I have never even seen that. I've never seen this film. Nothing about it.
Well, and good luck trying to find another one.
Yeah.
Even everything is a variation on this.
Well, when you have a cool image like that, you might as well use it.
Some put the title at the top, some put Fulci at the top, but that image is there. So yeah, that's creepy. And we don't really see those hands. The image gives you a feeling like there's a a head with hands coming out of it, but it's really the hands that are coming up and grabbing the head, right?
I mean, it's a good poster. I wouldn't say it's an accurate poster.
Yeah, agreed.
There we go. Well, let's talk a little bit about Fulci. And Bill, you got some stuff here with where he was at.
I'm
in
saying,
the late 80s.
Fulci in the late 80s. And Crystal's right. The decline is beginning to happen. I haven't seen The Devil's Honey. People say it's nuts. And Cat in the Brain is certifiably crazy meta. I don't know that I like it, but I admire that he did it. It's a Fulci movie about Fulci making a movie. So go figure. But clearly the best days were behind him, and his health was failing. And I've been sick a little bit this week, and you don't want to do anything. And I'm going to get over it and I'll be fine. But he was, he had severe diabetes. He was very ill. It was a constant thing wearing on him. And to then try to go out and make a movie, which is taxing under the best of circumstances. What we got is probably as good as we can expect.
I agree.
But that's unfortunate.
I mean,
because
for that,
Yeah,
but I haven't seen these all.
Well, and in reading, one of the things I was reading was Demonia wasn't very good. I haven't seen that one. Haven't seen Devil's Honey. So I got to get more of that. I've seen far more like from New York Ripper earlier.
And The Incredible Zombie 3.
Yes. And the Zombie 3, which came a year after this, and which we know from when we did that, he wasn't able to finish the movie.
Yeah.
And Bruno Mattei finished it. And it is just a little bit schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah.
Now, I will say one thing just to end this on a happier note. Shortly before he died, he came to America for a Creation Con, or I don't know, it was some horror convention in New York City. He was trapped in a snowstorm, but people came, and he was apparently very touched and surprised at how popular he was. That he wasn't really aware that his films had done much in America. I guess all he saw were the receipts, but not the fandom, not the passion that people had for the Dead trilogy that he made. And so that was good. It was good that he got to see that, because so many of these people die before they realize that their films are influential. They're not going to be forgotten. It wasn't all for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go back to, in the early 70s, he was doing Giallo, and in the 60s, he did some spaghetti westerns, basically. So a pretty wide variety of topics. So
he was mostly known for horror, but I was going to say the same thing. He's done all different types of genres, and was very good at it. He's a good director, I think when it came to horror, he had his own vision of what horror should be. And especially with the Gates of Hell trilogy and stuff like that, it was just nightmare after nightmare scene, and I think that was what his vision of horror should be, not necessarily as much as a story being told or a narrative, but these scenes of carnage and just out of this world, a madness almost.
Yeah,
he was really good at that.
Well, and talk about creepy zombie too.
Yeah.
I would love to have seen Fulci take a crack at an actual Lovecraftian story, not just Lovecraft inspired, but take one of Lovecraft's shorts and expand it out a bit and let Fulci take a crack at it.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like he had the sensibility to make that dread, that,
especially if you watch the end of The Beyond.
Oh yeah. Well, the craziest ending in movie history. It's amazing.
So in the 70s, we had done, I think the only ones we've done are The Psychic and Zombie on decades before the 70s. in the 80s, we've got City of the Living Dead, The Black Cat, The Beyond, House by the Cemetery, Zombie 3, and this one, I think, are it. Cat in the Brain is listed as 1990, but we might have to make an exception for
Yeah, because that I would be interested. If he says it's that crazy, I'm even more interested.
Yeah.
So we did mention this movie having several influences, and I thought the most obvious ones to me were Patrick and Carrie.
Oh yeah.
Take Patrick, add Carrie, sprinkle a little Suspiria dust on it. You get it.
Perfect recipe.
Yeah, because they kind of seem like witches, don't they? Like, because the red eyes. How is the mother? How did she know that her daughter was embodying that girl?
Yeah, exactly. And the red eyes.
That, yeah, it definitely has that.
Yeah, there was some stuff going on that were not explained, right?
No, what were the red eyes all about? Was she evil? Was she good? In the end, she's good, but
or maybe she was. Maybe she just felt like she was releasing her daughter, not that she was hurting her. I mean, she did say, "Oh, my daughter," and then like clearly she seemed like she loved her, and that's why it looks like she went kind of,
Well, she knew the daughter was possessing that girl right before the end. So we didn't know much about the mom, but something was going on there with the red eyes, and
she seemed a little mentally unstable.
I thought that the daughter was possessing the mom as well, but maybe the mom was the one that had the powers. I don't know.
I feel like the mom kind of went mental after what happened with her daughter, though. Maybe that could kind of be explained. That her daughter passed away and she just couldn't handle it. But typically, they say they pass those. I feel like they were kind of witches, because how else was the daughter doing this?
Right.
Anyway, I mean, not that it has to have an explanation, but that seemed legit to me.
You start asking questions like that, next thing you know, it's like, how do snails kill someone?
By smothering them, of course.
And how slow do you have to be killed by snails?
That's
don't
right.
Tell me. Well, there
and
were
how
a
long
lot
do you
of them.
stay there going?
I don't care how many snails there were. They move like they're so slow.
I'll be damned if I let one crawl in my mouth and find out. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I know, for real. Yuck.
Escargot.
We might actually have some of those, but just get this one. And Fulci's pretty well known for doing cameos in his films. So once again, he's a police inspector, and you could tell he is not nearly as stout or robust as he has been.
He's looking a little thin there.
Yeah. Kind of pale.
Speaking of pale, the girl lying in the hospital, hooked up to all the machinery, looked dead.
Yeah.
I mean, she had that horrible scar down here that looked like Frankenstein sewed it, just tried to show it. So and by the end, her skin was just
wires on her. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I just want to put out a thing. I was reading just to remind me, because it was a couple of weeks ago that I saw it. Look at the Wikipedia or whatever description, or like, a lonely, unattractive woman is bullied, and like, okay, listen here. She may not be a Vogue model. She's awfully thin, but I thought she's fine. What they did was so mean. Not that it would be less mean.
They
if she
made
was
her
truly unattractive, but
worse with the makeup.
Yeah.
I mean, because come on, she had this blush.
Yeah. But she has very expressive eyes, and that worked.
Yeah.
Considering
and
how messed
Fulci
up
loves
she
the
is.
eyes.
Oh, he does.
That was like
the movie started out with the big guys getting the makeup on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that was a jerk move they did. But really, instead of running out into traffic, here's what you do. You go to HR and you get that teacher fired, and he will never work again, assuming he doesn't go straight to prison.
Yeah. I mean,
and that is Miliana Zorojevic.
Well, she played a good, almost dead woman.
Mm-hmm.
She did. And strangely enough, they did have. He did find an exceedingly good-looking crop of girls to be in this movie, with the exception of the way that they made her up. I mean, the way that those people, like at the beginning of the movie, what were you thinking? That you would assume that the girl and the guy were her friends, but they were making her up just gaudier and crap with that crazy eyeshadow and the over much blush on the lip, on the cheeks, and
jerks. Well, they'll get theirs.
They kind of did. All right. Well, yeah, she's strapped down in there, and that's where we get the whole Patrick thing. And that's quite the rig. I don't know where they came up with that.
It's ridiculous. It's so funny.
I'm not sure how that's helping at all. But
the oxygen tube is really not like anything I've ever seen. Might have been the standard.
Looks like something from a vacuum.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Dr.
Anderson.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Jared Martin? Is that?
I call him Manho.
Yeah.
He was kind of, Jared Martin, and he is American. I've seen him and stuff before, but yeah, he just doesn't. He starts off you're feeling like he's a principled person, but it doesn't take much for Laura Lamberti.
All of 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then he's looking at another chick and is like, oh no, why would I care about her when I've got the, it's like,
when she's gone. And then when she's gone,
big.
It's like presto changeo. He's now with Yuli Reitenthaler. Okay. So yeah, he wasn't likable either. There weren't really any likable characters in this.
No.
They did try to play up the Suspiria thing in terms of the girls' school, and then they had that huge ugly portrait of, I assume, the founder of the school, who is never mentioned or brought up, but they just have this picture everywhere, right?
Oh yeah.
There was a anyway. Not to mention, we're going to try to make this look Americanized because we're supposed to be in Boston, so we'll put pictures of
Rocky.
Oh yeah,
so
that's Stallone and Tom Cruise. That was it. Yeah, that was
Paul
so
Newman,
funny.
I think, too, was. Yeah.
He's got a picture of the Incredible Hulk on his door.
Must be Boston.
That was the gym teacher. The gym teacher was Fred Ricardo Acerbi, but he leaves pretty fast. And this is definitely a different culture than the U.S. because the gym teacher, it's okay for him to slap girls on the butt and make innuendos and stuff all the time, right?
Tell them they're fat or whatever. Yeah.
So yeah, he's not very likable. I kind of liked how those paddles worked too. They didn't need the jelly and they didn't have to charge it ahead of time. They just slammed her down there.
Yeah.
It was interesting. But this is pretty much the lead, Lara Lamberti. And did you notice where her family was, Bill?
No.
Okay, her last name is really Nazinski, and she is Klaus Kinski's niece.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
She didn't get her looks from him.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Nastasha didn't either.
Yes.
I don't know how genetics work, but yeah.
Well, what's really
skip a generation?
I don't know.
Hopefully, she didn't get too many visits from her uncle. Ugh.
Well, interestingly, and I don't know, this might just be a choice when you're entering things. Like there's a piece of trivia that says she's the niece of Klaus Kinski, but under family and relatives, it says Klaus Kinski, aunt or uncle.
What?
Yeah, we were never sure.
I think he was anyway. So Nastasha's her cousin. So
she's quite pretty, and she's got that definite giallo look. I mean, and that shot at the top is very good. Got the backlighting from where? Who cares? It's just there's always backlighting and the flawless skin, well lit.
Mhm.
She was decent in this.
She does kind of look
Yeah.
like Natasha if her hair was a little darker.
But like you say, it's hard to tell how good of an actor they are when you're getting the dubbed
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the Italian was even dubbed, actually. I think they said Jared Martin, he's American, but I think his voice was dubbed, even in the English.
Dub them all.
She was good, and she I don't know.
I liked all the actors.
Well,
I
they-
mean, really.
I think what makes it. I'm sorry, Crystal. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm trying to think. I don't think that there was a single person that stood out as a poor. Well, okay, the beginning scene, the gay dude helping her get dressed was a little over the top. He seemed too nice, okay?
Yeah.
But then he's a betrayer. So
Yeah.
so that I guess
Yeah.
that does make sense. Because
That
he was
whole-
like,
Yeah, that whole first scene was like something out of Family Ties.
yeah. Yeah. So
Some
I was a
montage
little
with-
like, and I was like, you're supposed to be a friend.
Mhm.
You broke my heart. Like that made me sad actually. Because I was like, oh, that's sweet. This is gonna be. I knew nothing about this film, and I truly thought that they were just overdoing it to try to just be not, show that
Right.
they were all buddy. No. Until
Well,
when I saw that freaking blush, I questioned my whole life. Pretty much. Because I was like, oh wow, wouldn't they help her with that? I didn't know that I didn't realize that they were
Yeah.
going to betray her. I thought maybe she was going to go off and it was going to be other people, not them. I felt like they were going to
Mhm.
be just her friends and maybe
Yeah.
they were going to help her with this or something. And that depressed me. But that's cool. No big deal. That is all.
No big deal. Well, and we've mentioned this a couple times, but it's worth seeing. I think the
Oh my.
snail scene.
Yeah.
And
This
that was-
actress earned her keep. I mean, there's nothing.
Were those actual snails?
Yeah, you think
Yeah,
they're
they
gonna
were
you think
moving.
they're not
Well,
gonna
I mean, she
spend
didn't
animatronic
bite
snails.
one.
I think
right?
that
Like-
was a fake one, but
Yeah.
the
Okay.
other ones were moving. Don't you think?
Maybe.
I don't think that one
It's
looks
Fulci,
real.
so-
But
Yeah, it didn't look real
yeah,
to me.
yeah, the one she bit into.
The rest of them
but-
did, though.
I mean, I'm sure these are snails that are raised to be turned into escargots. So as snails
Well,
go, they're
those
probably
I could
clean.
see. Yeah.
And there are women, probably some guys, who actually pay to have snail pedicures or whatever, where snails crawl all over your face and the slime tightens up your skin. And you're
Well, yeah,
paying
there's
big
supposed to
money
be
for
some
this.
snail like facial products, but I
Yeah, good
don't
lord.
know that they're alive. Ooh.
Well, there was some other. There was a.
Snail.
What was the other
Snails.
kill scenes? Oh, there's the one where they make
Statue.
the statue. Help me out.
Statue like comes to life and then falls on the girl and crushes her.
Before he strangles her.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was like, what? Yeah.
Well, there was where she is. She sees her. She stuck her boyfriend in, and I don't remember which character's name it was. And then she goes to the bathroom. When she comes back, she sees him as beheaded.
Yeah, but he's not.
Mhm.
But then he
But
is.
But then she runs through the whole school and looking from room to room, and inside every room is him beheaded, to the point of where she goes by the statue of Perseus holding up the head, and it's his head.
Nice catch.
And then she goes back in the room and she freaks out and she tries to. Does she try to climb out the window or does she jump?
She accidentally fell out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he
Then-
gets his head cut off when he looks through the window and it
yeah.
falls on his head.
I love it when people get decapitated by windows falling.
Yeah.
First there was spookies, and now this. The kid getting his head crushed in the window.
Oh gosh.
Well,
Oh,
it
wow.
was spirit influenced, right?
Mm.
Yeah, but this is by far the murder that gets the most attention. And people talk about this movie, which they seldom
The
do.
snail?
But it's the one with the snails. You're like, ooh.
Of course, because it's weird. It's just like the eye in Zombie.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
right.
It is kind of.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the snail is different. I mean, it
Well,
How did she
honestly
die
that
exactly? She
that
smothered?
feels
I
like
guess
it.
they.
It's
Well, they said
creepy.
she's smothered. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It gives you that creepy feeling of just like, being covered with worms or spiders or anything.
Not
like
the
that.
French.
Yeah, well,
It's not creepy
the
to
French.
Ah, the French.
It's also creepy because it's one of those things you're looking at. It's like, how'd they film this scene? Well, they covered her with snails. That's what they did. It's exactly what you think you're seeing. It's they're crawling
I'd
all
much
over
rather
her.
be covered in snails than spiders, though, or any.
Well,
or
yeah,
worms or any
sure.
of that. So
Because in real life,
honestly,
no one has ever died from snails, but spiders have taken a lot of us out.
that.
Yeah, it seems like snails would probably tickle. But
Yeah, probably more than anything
I
else,
don't
and it
know.
might help your performance because of that.
Hilarious if she
So.
just woke up like she died laughing.
Oh, Lord. So, what else do we have to talk about here? We got Fulci.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't it really get a whole lot of great graphics for this one, unfortunately?
Oh, she does have that. Lara Lamberti, what was her name? Eva. She has that thing where she throws a fit, which is really kind of weird. I thought up against that wardrobe and then throws herself in the bed and writhes around a little bit, and you know what I'm talking about.
Vaguely, this film does not linger in the mind the way a lot of
forgettable.
Fulci movies do.
The woman with the snails is Kathy Wise. Anyway, okay.
Were they supposed to be in college? Was this actually college?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's odd. I mean, obviously they seem like they should be in college, like this should be college,
Yeah.
but kind of the way they're treated is like it feels like high school in a way.
Yeah, what's their major? Being a jerk?
Yeah, like who in college treats someone like that? It's weird. Like,
oh yeah, maybe that's what you're talking about. The one girl gets for some reason she freaks out whenever she comes to the statue on the stairway, and the painting starts leaking blood out on it and falling on her face.
Didn't a hand fall too?
Yes.
The arm on the
yes, you would remember that. You would.
yeah, the hand. Yeah. Of course, yes.
It doesn't move though. It doesn't.
As long as it doesn't move, I'm good.
There you go.
Stay dead.
Now, as in all these movies, the cops are useless.
Yeah.
So useless. Yeah.
She must have got smothered by a pillow. What about all this slime?
Yeah.
Nah, who knows what these kids are into these days.
Bada boom, bada boom.
Snails? Oh, you must be wrong. Okay. Well, I don't know. We continue in our Fulcis, although I kind of want to see the next one I'll probably do is New York Ripper, just because I love the Donald Duck serial killer. But there's
what?
The serial killer in New York Ripper talks with the voice of Donald Duck.
Oh boy. Sounds
I know.
Oh,
I know
boy.
that makes it sound like a comedy, but it's actually very mean spirited.
It is very mean spirited. So last comments, or do we just move on to feedback? Or
yeah, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Let's mosey off like a snail.
I'm not sad I watched it. I mean,
no, I'm not either. I wasn't entertained by it.
Not either.
It was just an okay movie as far as if you've seen other movies Fulci's done. This one is not as great. It's okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So now I thought of another thing. That whole thing with the gym teacher too, where it was like a doppelganger killed him.
Yeah,
strangled by his reflection. Yeah,
and the reflection was like,
like plastic wrap or something.
Plastic wrap or something that he had his face shoved into.
So actually, I liked that part a lot.
Yeah,
like that was actually, I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. That's kind of cool. I mean, that part felt about par for the course for Fulci. You know,
Evil Dead did it first, but
fair. Fair. I
All
bet there
right.
was someone else that probably did it before that, like
Yeah.
it's like mirrors are fun.
There's just so much randomness about maybe I missed it or something, but was this girl established as really being afraid of snails?
Yes.
That's what is so weird. She was.
Yeah, no. Remember when they served snails at dinner that one time?
Oh my god.
She was like,
Yes.
"Ooh, what are those?" And
okay.
And then
It's
she
delicacy
walked into
in
her room.
Louisiana or something, I think.
She saw the snails on her bed and she went freaking out.
yeah, she runs and tells
so would
them
I,
there's
actually.
nothing there. So,
Yeah.
so this is currently on Wicked Horror TV. It's also on Shudder, Screenbox, and Tubi. So if you guys want to check that out, it is available, and it is worthy as sort of a sort of the linchpin between his other work and Zombie 3.
Jeff, there is one thing I feel like we've forgotten to do.
What?
Oh, we did.
Oh my god, the taglines. Oh my
Chad
gosh.
was being
Almost.
so quiet.
And I would have
Almost
gotten
got
away
with it.
Yeah, almost
If it
got
wasn't
away.
for
Wasn't
you
for that
messing
rotten Bill.
Yeah.
Try to rip Bill's mask off and see.
Well, it is
Uncle
definitely
Al.
long past time for taglines with Chad.
Jeez, now I'm going to have to go find him again.
Sorry, Chad.
Okay, that's okay. The taglines for Enema are as follows.
Enigma.
They made a clown out of Kathy once too often.
Okay, that was awful. Like they should not have used the word clown at all.
I think they were thinking of that song, "I'm Kathy's Clown." Maybe that was
What
a big
is
hit
that?
in Italy.
Is that actually a song?
Yeah, it's a real
Yeah.
I'm Kathy's Clown.
Everly
Is
Brothers.
that Jerry Lewis?
Everly Brothers. Yes.
Oh, Everly Brothers. Okay.
Here she comes.
Okay. I guess that
I'll
was
send you the
thing.
link.
Possessed by revenge.
That's fine.
Wow. Okay.
All her enemies will be eliminated, but first they will suffer.
Okay.
That sounds like something Canada would make up.
Yeah.
Suffering is
Just
pretty
blame
Canadian
Canada.
Okay.
Well,
And that's been
Oh God. Now here we go.
taglines with Chad.
Chad's our hero, cool and rad. With him reading taglines, they can't be that bad.
That almost makes it worth doing the tagline.
See, that's the whole reason I
Yeah.
did. I didn't really want to hear the taglines. I just want to hear Crystal sing.
I know. Thank you so much for reminding me of that. I would have lost sleep over that if I remembered that.
There's been
later.
way worse taglines. So
That's
that
true.
first one, I don't love. Now that I know that there's a Kathy Clown song, okay. I mean, I guess that does make sense. I missed the reference, though.
But not everybody's going to know that, especially kids from the 80s. They're not going to know.
It's a song
that.
from 1960. Yeah, it's got no.
Oh.
Come on.
Yeah. Was it
All right.
popular actually, though?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was the Everly Brothers, and
Yeah.
It had a nice chorus.
Super get it. Yeah.
It was very
There.
60s.
I sent the link so you can hear it.
Okay.
It
cool.
sounds like one
Thank
of
you.
those songs that would play during a Roger Corman movie that some teenager with a guitar would sit there and play while everybody watched them.
While everybody else is getting killed.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway. All right. So speaking of phenomena, we're going to the feedback here. Our first tonight is from episode 168, Phenomena. Dario Argento from
Phenomena.
Emulous 79. And just for that, Crystal, you go first.
Okay. Emulous 79. This is not a film to be rationalized. It's pure nightmare logic. Kind of genius to get such ridiculous and bizarre imagery on screen. This actually pretty much plays into what we were saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I
About
love
this
the
film.
music, though.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Maiden, Motorhead. I love the music.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the
Yep.
first portion of our feedback will be known as they're all Emulous 79. So
Okay.
welcome to Emulous 79. And Bill, episode 174, Prince of Darkness.
As Emulous was continuing his journey through our back catalog, Prince of Darkness, he said, "My friends and I used to hang out around the outside of an abandoned church as kids, oddly enough. I'm sure it was before this movie came out too. Yeah, you're lucky you grew up to yeah. No good comes
I
of
wonder
that.
if Alice Cooper was there.
Well,
Mm.
yeah. Like
What
they
a-
do
what
tend
a
to
great
be
movie.
crazy places. Yeah.
All right. And episode 175, The Church from Emulous 79, Chad.
I love this demented film. It alternates between bizarre and creepy to downright hilarious, depending on your mood, with the wonky dubbing and utterly absurd situations. I mean, how many films have a wicker basket mask, a train smashing a face like a melon, people getting impaled on fences or spires, a head being banged on a bell, a guy plucking out his heart before going on a joyride, and a boy going down on his doppelganger? I don't remember that part. And that's not all of it. But yeah, it's demented and crazy though.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't remember the boy going down on his doppelganger.
I know. I'm like,
Is there some weird
I don't know, but I'll read
European
this
version of this we haven't seen?
I don't
I
know.
bet you. I mean,
There
that
may
movie's
be
just weird.
now. I
that
hate
kid
this.
is weird.
Emulous, you have to realize The Church. So that was almost 100 episodes ago. So that means like 4 years. You know, it's like because I don't remember what we said. I need to go back
But
and
I
watch
don't
that.
remember that. You'd think I'd remember that.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
do too.
And to tie
Well,
it in Fulci,
I'm debating this, but I'll. I mean, it's Crystal's turn next. So for episode 188, The Pit.
rub it out. Booyakasha.
What?
Well,
Oh, you know what
remember
that
the kid in
means.
the pit?
You know what that means.
That kid in the pit was spying on his babysitter in the bathtub.
I'm like, Bill, for real? Like, that's been around for a hot minute. That's been around for a while. You know
Jeff's
that.
not the only one with old age related forgetfulness.
Well, and he does have kind of a creepy old man looking emoji with that. Rub it out.
Oh, it's like the laughing emoji.
Squinting eyes. Like, yeah.
But like laughing.
All right.
Yeah.
Bill, this is perfect. Episode 195, Neon Maniacs. Emulous.
Neon Maniacs.
Hell
At
yeah.
1640, freakiest description ever. What a Looney Tune film. And I guess this is the one at 1640. They're like saying they're like a cross between the Cenobites, the Village People, and the Nightbreed Gang. I'll stand by those words.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I think that's what he was talking about. I actually went to that timestamp because I was curious as to what he was talking about. Yeah, that's the cross between them. The Village People is the part that makes it, I think.
Yeah.
Jeff has so much time on his hands.
Yeah.
198, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Emulous for Chad.
Emulous says, and thanks for writing in. We knew a new listener there. I've never heard of him before. Poor Dan O'Hurley. They made him look like a literal shithead in The Last Starfighter.
Yeah, they did.
He was kind of goofy.
Yeah.
But Dan's a classic guy. All right, episode 199, From Beyond. Also Emulous, Crystal.
Those cobweb lights in the background are awesome. I'm trying to remember which cobweb lights, but I mean, cobweb lights are awesome. So sounds cool. I'm just like, which ones? Was there a good fog machine too? Because that goes hand in hand. Obviously.
I think so.
There was fog, I believe.
So let's see. Next, episode 232, Zombie Free. How apropos. Bill?
Emulous says, you need a toke or drink to get through this dumb-arse movie. So stupid. Harsh but fair.
Yeah.
I love it when people say dumb arse.
Yeah.
Well, remember on Classic Era, he talked about recording something from the BBC. So I'm thinking.
So he must be
maybe English,
British,
UK. Episode 234, Tenebrae. Chad?
Emulous once again says, I'm enjoying these podcasts. Argento is such a freak.
Yeah.
He is. Thank you, Emulous. We're enjoying your comments too. All right, now to somebody else.
Oh.
Episode 236, The Incubus, from Brett Owen, 71. Crystal?
To say Roadhouse is a genre film is not anywhere in the ballpark of calling it a science fiction film. It is most definitely a genre film. Science fiction? Maybe. What?
That sounds like a rant that I would go on because
we
Roadhouse,
had a big discussion
Yeah.
about Roadhouse being a science fiction, and I was like, what?
What?
Because none
Sam
of it makes
Elliott's
sense.
mustache, maybe.
Yeah. It's a universe where being a bouncer in a bar is the highest achievement that a man can make. You know, the doctors look up to him because he's a bouncer. Like,
He's
okay,
legendary.
yeah, a legendary bouncer. Never happened. Never happened in this universe. Maybe another universe. Just saying.
Appreciate it.
Maybe a lot more along the lines of fantasy.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Brett Owen. Episode 263, Evil Speak, from Tony Ekman, 4822. Where we at, Bill?
Okay. Well, I picked this, so I'm happy to say that Tony Ekman says, my favorite horror movie of all time. You're welcome.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm.
Well, excellent.
Yeah.
And now we're up to the one that was just released. We have a few there. Chad from Jose on Parents, episode 264.
I love this.
Jose says, what were they before they were leftovers? Why, they were leftovers to be shaped like humans. In 88 or 89, while working at the video store, the press kits for upcoming releases used to come in and I'd go through them. This was one of them. They clearly tried to market it as something it wasn't. They didn't seem to know what to do with it. I took it home one night and liked it. Really weird and dark stuff. I will agree with that.
And I totally think the marketing was off.
It was.
Oh, I think they didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
When I think of Bob Balaban, I think of his interpreter role in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The one who was a map maker until he got paid to speak French, as he says.
All over. He's all over the place.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Jose. And a few one-liners in also on Parents. Gregory Crosby. Crystal?
I have vivid memories of this, but I might need to watch it again. Yeah, like I remembered it and I didn't remember it the same way. It seems so much darker this time. But yeah, I think everyone who's watched it, I think it deserves another watch.
Well, that seems to be a trend here. So next up is from Daphne.
Yay.
Our cohort on Classic Era. Bill?
Daphne says, I remember loving this movie when it came out. I haven't seen it since, though.
See, that tracks with Daphne.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen it once. And that's plenty. With some movies, you know, sometimes that's all you need.
And then Chad, Michael Zatz.
Mikey Z says, It's been a while since I've seen this. Used to run on cable TV and heavy roration way back when. Got to look at it again. As usual, Jeff needs a spell check.
Hey,
he might have cut and pasted it.
I absolutely do. I copy and I cut and paste the comments in, we're not giving anybody a hard time for typos in comments.
What did I just do then?
You were. Well, never mind.
It's Mikey. It's Mikey.
It's Mikey. We know Mikey's cool. All right.
Put you in heavy roration next time he sees you.
Well, it's been a while since I was putting heavy roration. I'll tell you that.
Is that something on Scooby Doo? Roration.
So Jeff goes back in the workflow and fixes it.
I did.
He's gaslighting us.
I have never just
fine. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Can't you read, Jeff?
I read fine.
All right. Well, that's it, folks. And thanks to everybody. Thanks, Mikey, Daphne, Gregory, Jose, Tony Ekman, Brett Owen, and Emulous. We appreciate all the comments you're making. So it reminds us of some of the stuff we've done before, and hopefully lets the listeners know, hey, we got to.
Yeah.
This is episode 265. So.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Or was it 260? Yeah. All right. So, yeah, you can leave comments on the Gruesome Magazine YouTube channel, or you can send them to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com. And we also have a Facebook group, which some of these I took from. That's Gruesome Magazine's H&R and DOH Podcasts Facebook group. So join that. All righty.
Join us.
We love comment. We really do love comment.
That's my favorite part.
Makes us feel like we're not alone.
Yeah.
Even all right. So that's it for this episode. But next up, every 2 weeks, we'll be focusing on a specific film released between 1980 and 1989. Next one up, we tackle one chosen by me, and we're going to be doing Extro from 1982.
Not Bill weird at all.
Bill and Chad have spoken very unfavorably about this, but a couple of our listeners suggested it. I can't really say they recommended it, but they suggested that we do it.
I got a feeling Crystal may enjoy it.
We're going to have
I've seen it, but it's been a really long time. So I think I'm pretty sure I liked it. Like, I don't really remember much of it, though.
Yeah.
It's weird. I know that. But I mean, what 80s movie isn't like?
Right, that's true.
I've never seen it.
I say about every 80s movie. Well, it's weird.
And we had a guest host reach out and say, "You got room for me on this one?" And I said,
yeah.
"Sure." Dirk Rogers will be joining us.
Oh, yay!
I assume to talk about the special effects. I'm just making a guess. Maybe not. I don't know.
He might just really. I mean, I know a lot.
He might just really like
Extra.
it.
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate it. Looking forward to it, Dirk.
Yep. Totally.
It's a video nasty, so another one of those.
Well, those are the ones we love, and especially the ones that actually seem nasty, not the ones that we're going.
Yeah.
What was so nasty about that?
Yeah. So I think that's it. Catch us again in 2 weeks for another great horror movie of the 1980s, as only decades of horror can do it. Thank you guys so much. Crystal, Bill, and Chad. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Great to see y'all.
Thank you.
Oh, I see. I still had my name up there from Classic Era.
Yeah, I was wondering about that, but I figured you had your reasons.
Jellied spiders.
That's what he had for dinner.
That sounds good.
Yeah, well, that was in the spell that they Vincent Price had to do to turn Peter Lorre back into a man from a raven. He needed jellied spiders.
Do you have any jellied spiders?
That sounds delicious. All
right. Thanks to all the listeners. Say good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Gruesome Magazine.